Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup full of news, views, previews, interviews and special guests. And coming up on a jam-packed show today, group racing is back in Hong Kong and so is Golden 60. The Golden Boy celebrated last Sunday in Group 3 company. Moved on then to Thursday for the National Day Cup. It was all about speed. A Computer Patch announced himself on the sprinting scene for Tony Cruz and Joe Moreira as we look ahead as well to some new horses coming into the Hong Kong racing ranks. The trial file will come up in part 2 of the show. Great to have your company. I'm Andrew Jern. Pleased to say I'm joined by Hong Kong Direct regular and Graham Cunningham and South China Morning Post racing writer Trenton Akers as well. Graham, first, the pieces of the puzzle are a long way from falling into place, but it's nice to see some of the big names out in racing again. It is, and it's even nicer to see the young guns finding their range very early. Golden 60 last week. We had Computer Patch on Thursday, and who knows, maybe Excellent Proposal this weekend. So the script is working out quite nicely for the younger brigade. And Trenton, we're also getting an early look as well. Casper Fownes and John Size are pushing some of their 4-year-olds out very early in the season.
They are, aren't they? And I quite like it because it gives them a chance to get their rating points early in the season and get them in hand before the 4-year-old series starts. Then, you know, it seems that the plan is to then put them away for a little bit and bring them back December, January and have them ready to go for the Classic Mile. So I think it gets them a bit of a head start on those, you know, those expensive PPs that have only just got here. They've got a bit on them at the moment because they've got the ratings and they're ready to go and they're proven. So I quite like it. The two horses I referred to there, Skyfield, who ran on Thursday, an Excellent Proposal, will run again on the weekend. We'll talk about both those horses in due course. First up, though, let's catch up with Ed Sadler. He looks back on the racing week here in Hong Kong.
Sunday's Group 3 Celebration Cup was built up as a clash of the generations between Dual Horse of the Year Beauty Generation and last season's Derby conqueror Golden 60. The two superstars of Hong Kong racing filled the top 2 placings, but the emerging champion Golden 60 ran out a decisive winner.
Golden 60 went by Champion's Way, then Beauty Generation. It's Golden 60. He's going to pick up in his 5-year-old season where he left the 4-year-old season, and Golden 60, the new kid's in town.
It was Golden 60's 8th straight win, and in an ominous sign for his rivals, his jockey Vincent Ho believes that he isn't close to peak fitness just yet.
Just very excited to be back on him, and it felt really great and fresh today. Keep joking around, and you know, it shows he's ready to go. And but just before loading in the gate, he was so calm. So very happy the way he is.
A rematch between Golden 60 and Beauty Generation is likely to occur in just a few weeks' time, as both horses have strong chances of progressing to the Group 2 Sha Tin Trophy over 1,600 metres on October 18. The highlight of Sunday's undercard came up in the final event on the program, as promising Australian import Lucky Express scored his first win in Hong Kong for John Size and new rider Karis Teeton.
Lucky Express, Karis Teeton stares down 3 for the day and has it. Winning method flies late, Lucky Express.
So after Golden 60 and Lucky Express stole the show at Sha Tin on Sunday, the group racing action continued on to Thursday with the running of the Group 3 National Day Cup, won by a sprinter on the rise in very easy fashion, Computer Patch.
Computer Patch is the leader, 200 metres to run, leads by a couple of lengths over Jolly Banner, then Gold Chest, followed by Big Parties getting right away. It's normally Computer says no, not in this Group 3. Computer says yes.
Well, you know, this first up wasn't 100% fit, but today he was really tuned up today, and I expect him to win today, you know.
Computer Patch's demolition job in the National Day Cup was the highlight of a significant day for Cruz, who went on to celebrate his 1,300th winner as a trainer in Hong Kong when Circuit Hassler prevailed later on in the day. Another standout moment of Thursday's meeting was Skyfield bringing up a hat-trick of wins as he continued on his path towards the 4-year-old series.
Skyfield a neck, half a length over Keep You Warm. He's green, he wants to duck in, but he's clear of Keep You Warm. Skyfield too good.
So the Hong Kong racing season is now up and running, and the next time we'll see the best thoroughbreds in town at the races will be on October 18, with running of the Group 2 Premier Bowl for the sprinters and the Group 2 Oriental Watch Sha Tin Trophy over 1,600 metres.
plenty to dissect then, fellas, through that. We'll go back and talk about Golden 60 first, Graham. Yes, he was getting a lot of weight, but there was a certain amount of arrogance and authority about the win as well, I thought.
It's terrifically exciting horse to watch, even for the most casual of sports fans, Andrew. When you see an athlete accelerate zip like that, it just makes you stop in your tracks. And this is also, he doesn't do marginal gains. He makes big leaps forward. And the times tell us all we need to know. 11 wins from 12 starts, 10 times. 10 wins, he's gone below 22.5 for his final split. I think he's been under 22 3 times, including 21.83 for that last gasp Derby success, and a very, very cosy, comfortable 22.19, pretty much in hand at last Sunday. He could have gone under 22 again there. He clocks the fastest sectional of the day multiple times. On the clock, there's no doubt whatsoever he's a good horse. And it's a weird thing when you see a horse win like that, and the jockey says, I think he was 70 to 75% fit. No arrogance there. Vincent genuinely means that. And I wasn't the only one who went down to see him saddled and thought, well, he just doesn't really look like he's in full bloom yet. So if ever he is, watch out.
Absolutely. With that in mind, Trenton, as well, Francis, I think he said he'd be guided by Vincent going forward as to what they target. Have you got a gut feeling about a mile or 2,000 metres? We're assuming this international day at this point in time. What would you go, mile or the Cup?
It seems the mile is on the agenda. That's what they've always kind of wanted. But I mean, there's extra money in the Cup as well, isn't there? So you'd have to see what's coming from overseas, and I think they'll make a decision from there. But I can't see them straying from the mile strategy at this stage, especially leading up to December. So he'll step up to it next start and go there in the Group 2s as well, the Jockey Club mile, I would say, and they'll make a decision from there. But I like him as a miler. I think he's got that brilliance, he's got that zip, and let's face it, there's not that much to beat there at the moment. You've got Beauty Generation, but it seems like he's getting there, isn't he?
I've got a question for Trenton, Andrew, if that's all right. First of all, I do admire that balcony apartment you have up there. But secondly, in media terms, Hong Kong's a town where you have to chisel out your reputation. It doesn't come easily, no soft options. If you put up a story about Zach Purton or John Moreira, Beauty Generation, I know you're going to get traffic. Is this horse closing the gap? Does he bring in the numbers nowadays?
He's getting there. The Derby win did him the world of good, that's for sure. I mean, the Derby's internationally recognised now, so he's got the name. And he's got the brilliance, hasn't he? He's got the record to match. So I think it's when you start building that picket fence like he's got, it helps, and we can see it. The numbers show, and it's definitely getting there. I mean, Francis Lloyd, the trainer, he's probably not globally recognised at the moment, but this horse could take him a long way to getting there.
Well, Beauty Generation doesn't have the picket fence next to his name anymore, Graham, but did enough in the Celebration Cup to suggest there's still a race in him. But what do they do with him now? I mean, is 2,000 metres a possibility for him?
It certainly is. Don't forget he holds the track record over 2,200 at Sha Tin, so he has good quality form over longer distances. As regards the short term, we have to assume he's going to go head-to-head with Golden 60 again in the Sha Tin Trophy. That's a mile. He'll be £7 better off at the weights, I think. And I think we know plenty about these two horses' run style, fight style by now. Golden 60 is Stork and Pounce. And I think if Beauty Generation is going to beat that horse, he's going to have to roll really hard through the third quarter, which has always been his forte, and then dig in. Because as we saw last week, if they just go even fractions and Golden 60's on your tail in that final 200, it's highly likely the younger horse will win. So I think they have to bite the bullet and say, we're going to go hard here from halfway and try to draw the sting out of that really powerful finish from Golden 60.
All right, well, that's the mile division. It could be a changing of guard as well, Trenton, as far as the sprinting division is concerned. Computer Patch, I'll happily admit I wasn't convinced about him maybe going into Thursday's race, but what a performance.
I was with you, Andrew. I wanted to see him do it first. I mean, it was hard to do what he did last year as a 3-year-old. But he's come here, he's left John Moore's stable, he's with Tony Cruz now, and that was impressive. Sure, he might not have beaten much, but you can only beat what's in front of you. But the way he just bounced out of the gates, got straight onto the rail there, that outside rail, and just it was as good as he could have hoped for, I think, Tony Cruz there, and it's put him right on track for the big boys. But there's definitely a gap. Everyone can see there's a gap in the sprinters. It's getting talked about a lot. You speak to trainers, you speak to jockeys. there's a bit of jostling going on at the moment to try and, you know, get something that's coming through. It's a bit progressive because, again, there's a lot of money in December, Hong Kong Sprint, and you want to have a horse that's going to be running. So Computer Patch is well on his way there.
Yeah, but as just a 4-year-old, Sir Graham, it's a fair ask, but if he keeps winning his races, there's only one way to go.
Yeah, it's insert your own pun or punchline when you have a horse called Computer Patch. So he's working his way through the programme. He didn't need anything like a hard drive yesterday, and you have to think he's worth another upgrade. Seriously, I can reveal that he's now up from 99 to a Hong Kong Jockey Club mark of 110. That means he'll be getting £16 from Hot King Prawn in the Group 2 Premier Bowl. He'll be getting £10 from the likes of Voyage Warrior and Big Time Baby. It's going to be a tough shift for those horses giving him that way. And the other spin-off news line is Joe Moreira has clearly struck up a really good rapport with Computer Patch, but he often rides Hot King Prawn. He rode him in his trial the other day. Caris Teeton has ridden both horses. He's ridden Computer Patch and he's ridden Hot King Prawn. He'll be well aware that there's a good ride going somewhere in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, difficult decisions to be made. Nice to have those decisions to make, though, I suppose, as well. Right, plenty more still to come. We'll talk about another Joe Moreira horse. Excellent proposal in part 2. And also the trial file. That comes up next. Welcome back to Hong Kong Direct. More from studio guests Graham Cunningham and Trenton Akers with their horses to follow coming up in a moment as we head into the next section, which is trial file part of our programme. First up, though, two of our racing analysts, Daryl Anderson and Paul Lally, with their horses from the trials. Paul's first, and the horse he's looking out for is Prime Minister.
400 metres from home, swinging for the run to the judge now. Glorified Fire, the first to corner in. Narrowly in front from Prime Minister. A couple of lengths to Hot King Prawn from Apex Top. Maldives and then Methane. Further out of the field to Melbourne Hall. And Green Rain is running on, but it's Prime Minister inside the last 100 metres. In front, Maldives, Apex Top are coming. Prime Minister's in front though, and he wins by 3/4 of a length on Maldives.
This is second trial. He did run a nice trial at Sha Tin behind Seven Heavens as well. So he's had 2 trials, only had 1 run last season, came in on a rating of 75 after winning 4 races in New Zealand when he was called Makataka. Now he's been up in Chung Fa as well. I think the horse has settled in really nicely, and I just like the way he stretched out. He jumped well, he drew wide in that Happy Valley trial, he came across, he was right outside the leader and ran on and won the trial really nicely. So I think he's really acclimatised well, this horse, and at a rating of 75, I think it's a good rating for him. I think he can go on and win races.
One that did take my eye is a newcomer to Hong Kong with the Tony Millard stable. His name is Maximus. Previously Charriers. He had a couple of starts over 1,400 metres in France, won those, had another over 1,600 metres, and then he went to the UK and went over a mile on the poly track there, won that as well. So he's arrived in Hong Kong, unbeaten in 4 starts, and this was his first trial at Happy Valley the other day, batch number 3. He's joined the Millard stable, and you can see him in saddlecloth number 10. He drifts back off a wide draw in the hands of Alexi Bedell, but he was never really pressured at any point. And once he sort of balanced up in the straight, I thought he hit the line very well. And for a 3-year-old, and a really strong 3-year-old, I think he's got a big future. Obviously, this trial was over 1,200 metres, and I think he's going to be better over ground, as his form in the Northern Hemisphere suggests. So he might be a horse that is targeting the Derby next year, and I think from what we've seen just in this one trial, I think he's got a lot of upside.
All right, there you go. There's 2 for the notebook. Maximus and Prime Minister. It'd be yes, Prime Minister, if he wins first up, Graham. I'm sure. What have you seen at the trials? Who have you got your eye on?
Well, mine isn't a dark horse or even an unexposed horse. He's just a hard-knocking handicapper who I think is ready to win. It's Manfred Mann's Star of Yuen Long. He's 1 from 11 in Hong Kong so far. He's already fit from a very good first time out at Sha Tin this season. But when we look through this trial, with Zach Purton on board, looks like Zach's going to stick with him after that very good performance last time. He just looks like a horse who's really in prime form. Look at the horse in white, the chestnut horse on the outside. That's another 80-rated horse, Inner Flame, and you can see that Inner Flame is being pushed along pretty vigorously to hit the line here. By contrast, Zach Purton is pretty motionless on Star of Yuen Long. They passed the post in a dead heat in the trial. If they met on similar terms in a race, I know which one I'd rather be on. I just think he's a horse who's ready to go very close at Class 3 level.
Yeah, when his win last year came on International Day, it was a solid win as well. So he's definitely one to follow. Trenton, you've got one for us, but we'll see a quicker return potentially on this fella.
He's going around this Sunday. Good View Clerico, his name is. He won 3 on the bounce the back end of last season as a 3-year-old, and he looked like a horse with a bit of upside. I quite liked it. And you see his trial here under Blake Shin. He jumps well, and the Blake kind of takes a hold of him. I just like the way he responds. He runs through the line quite nicely there. I mean, winning 4 on the bounce is very hard, but it just looks like he's come back as a nice 4-year-old. And I think he can kind of move through the grades a bit here. I think he'd get to Class 2, this horse, pretty easily. It's very interesting. Blake's not riding this weekend, so he's gone to Valiant Dream, it looks like, and Matthew Poon rides this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see which way he goes, but I just like the way he just moves here. I think he's a horse that's got a bit in hand on these.
All right, it'll be interesting because it looks quite a hot sprint. Race number 9, that is, on Sunday. Got Prince of Gems, Fabulous 8 coming up in class as well. It is. We'll talk about the final race on the programme there at Shartin in a moment or so. Quick look at the diary though, and we do have the 10 races from Shartin on Sunday, a couple of all-weather races as well. Back to Happy Valley, had the week off, of course, with National Day at Shartin, and then return to Shartin the following Sunday. The Premier. The next group race, the Premier Cup, comes up on the 18th of October. Right, back to Sunday. Final race on the programme. Class 2, 1,800 metres. Helene Leading Star back in action. Ho Ho Khan, haven't seen him since April. His wins, 1,800 plus. Savigny in a good second. Excellent proposal. He's £7 better off with his rival this time round, but Joe Moreira draws barrier 3 this time. Amazing Beats, his win over 2,000 so far, down to Golden Spectrum. Tianchi Monster, who comes up in class, Tianchi Monster, when scored in pretty good style, it must be said, despite being nearly 60 to 1. Matthew Poon takes over from Wagner Borges, who rode him on that day. But the story seems to be here, Graham. Excellent proposal. And John Size has really got this horse out and up early. He's gone 14, 16 already up to the 1,800 metres.
And he's progressing fast. Joe Moreira summed it up very nicely when he went over a mile last time. Only good horses can do what he just did. He took the high road from a wide draw, raced wide all the way around the bend, but he put pretty smart field of handicappers to bed very, very readily. So he just looks ahead of the handicapper. It's hard to think that he won't hit the triple-figure rating at some point this season, and he's going to be a pretty short order this Sunday.
Yeah, Savvy 9, having said that, Trent, I'm a big fan of this horse. Excellent proposal. I think he's going to go all the way. But Savvy 9 does get a £7 turnaround. It was a good run from him as well.
He does. And like Savvy 9's the kind of horse, he's just been hammered here in terms of his ratings. He's never won a race, has he? But he's always contesting the good races, and he's running well. So you can't knock him, and you wouldn't mind owning him. He's got a bit of prize money, but I reckon he's a dead set chance on Sunday. But yeah, excellent proposal, will be hard to catch.
All right, well, let's hear from his trainer. An excellent proposal. He's trained by John Size. His thoughts heading into the weekend.
His runs since he's been in town have been first class. You know, he's raced very well. He looks like a fairly diligent racehorse. He travels well. He's fairly kind in his races. He sort of accelerates quite well. So he's got a lot of things going for him.
What about stepping him up to 1,800 metres here?
Well, we have to try eventually. He's had 2 runs in a short space of time, and so I think he's fit enough to go to the 1,800 and try out see if he's capable. But the way he travels in his races, he's so kind. I think he'd probably be able to do it.
Very much in excellent proposals camp. But we're talking about Joe Moreira earlier, Graham, about having difficult decisions to make. Skyfield, an excellent proposal. They're going to bump into each other at some point, aren't they?
You would think so, but it might only be once, you know, because I'm pretty sure that excellent proposal has that middle distance potential. I think the jury's out on whether Skyfield has 1,600 potential, let alone 2,000. He's a very exciting horse, gorgeous-looking, flashy chestnut horse to look at. But he's a bit of a bold boyo. He's very perky in the paddock. And Casper summed it up really neatly yesterday. He said at one point in the middle of the race, it looked like he was about to take charge. In the end, he did it quite snugly, but he's by a sprinter. He behaves like a sprinter in his pre-race demeanour, and he races a bit like a sprinter. So for me, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a sprinting duck.
All right, there's a lot of water to go under the bridge training between now and March for the Derby, but excellent proposal. To my eye, it looks like he's got it all.
He's a real deal, isn't he? I'd say very early, but he's the top seed for me at the moment. He can race a mile. I'd say he's going to race 1800, and then you'd say he race 2000 as well. So he's definitely the real deal, and he's trained by the right man to get him there as well.
All right, great work as always, guys. That's the show, about all we've got time for. Very quickly, though, Graham, Tony Cruz, 1,300 winners on Thursday. That's some achievement. Yeah, Tony would tell you it's 2,000 plus because he always counts his riding winners in there. But he's on 13. But Casper Fownes, the man we just mentioned, he's on the threshold of a big number too. Yeah, just one away, Trenton, from 900, and every chance he could do it on Sunday.
Yeah, there is. He's got a few nice ones in there, and I think he'll be trying to knock it off as early as he can, Casper, and try and get to 1,000 at some point soon. All right, well, great work as always, guys. Enjoy the action on Sunday. That is the show. Thanks for watching. With Tony Cruz celebrating his 1,300th training winner here in Hong Kong, we're going to leave you with Silent Witness winning his second Hong Kong Sprint back in 2004. As Silent Witness celebrated his 21st birthday on Thursday. So enjoy this. We'll see you again on Sunday and bring all the action from Hong Kong direct to you.
Silent Witness, multi-dandy, Able Prince right there, Osterhays in the middle. VAR just off them, Kelston Lido about a length off the lead. Pivotal Point the inside, Yell about 3 off the front runners. Next Sunningdale, Cape of Good Hope. In between them trying to pick up is Sunningdale the Tatling, and fading back last Royal Millennium. It's multi-dandy on the outside of Natural Blitz. They're the leaders at the quarter pole. Next then came on the outside Able Prince, VAR trying to pick up. Right there, multi-dandy, Silent Witness goes under Natural Blitz. Natural Blitz runs for his life, but the great champion Silent Witness darts to the front. This is all over. He's toying with them. This is unbelievable. Silent Witness 2 in front. Cape of Good Hope, Natural Blitz. Able Prince trying hard. The world champion wins in a canter. He's too good, Silent Witness.